Hey guys, welcome back. Today is Tuesday. You know what that means? We're only a couple of weeks away from Christmas holiday. And today I thought I would bring you guys a super surprise to the show today. Something different. We have a special guest star, which a lot of you know out there. And this individual, Adam Kurz, just finished his third book. Am I correct?
Third book, yeah.
Third book. I had the pleasure of enjoying reading on the book. I do definitely have some questions I want to ask. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's called Failure, the Truth About Failure. It blew me away. Some of the stuff that this book talks about is exactly what we go through in this industry, how we allow failure to take over instead of doing things a little bit different because we don't listen. That's the problem. We don't listen. So I want to be able to take an opportunity and talk a little bit with Adam himself, Adam, and talk about the book and talk about some of the stuff that he wrote in here and what actually inspired him to do his third book, especially with this actual title to the book. Awesome. So David, welcome to Prime Time.
Thank you for having me on the show. This is great.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you. And tell me a little bit about your first two books.
So we wrote a book called The Blueprint. I actually wrote it with Rudy Hernandez. It was more of a Q&A style book where...
Okay. Rudy from
New World Title.
New World Title.
And we co-authored the book together, and we were interviewed by a writer. And she helped us put the book together, and it was very Q&A. She didn't ask us questions and then turn it into a book. It was more a Q&A style. And the idea behind The Blueprint was to create something where we could give real estate professionals the blueprint to really kicking off their business. And so we told our own stories. You know, I told stories on how, I would go from door to door in the early days, of being in real estate. And Rudy told stories about how he took a stack of business cards one day and threw it in a stadium to see who would call him, right? Like, you just like,
there's a bad idea, guys.
Right? There's so many different things you could do. And that led to a second book. And the reason it led to a second book was because after we wrote The Blueprint and sold a bunch of copies and gave away a lot of copies too. We wanted the community to have hands on it. And we would ask questions like, hey, did you enjoy the book? And they would say yes. And then we would say, okay, cool. What did you do with the information? And people got stuck on that question all the time. And what I realized was I went back into the book, reread it, and we gave a lot of cool things that you could do, but we never gave action related, like forward movement statements, right? Like, go do this, right?
Right. Which is what everybody's looking for.
Right. And so people read the information, but they didn't absorb it as, I need to go do this. They were waiting for the book to tell them to go do something. And so naturally that led to a second book called Take Action, right? It's almost like the sequel. And Take Action was all about that. Take Action was scenario, what do you do with the scenario, what you can now do. Scenario, what you do with the scenario, and what you can now do with it. And so, and I've always believed that, when we host events and things of that nature, we always want to invite top producers to the stage. Why? Because they've done it. The problem that I find with that often is that the people in the audience are nowhere near that level, right? So the average person in the audience sells 4 to 6 homes a year, and the person we brought to the stage is doing 200 homes a year, right?
What a difference.
There's such a huge gap in understanding. And the person on the stage, let's face it, the agents who sell 200 plus homes a year have big egos and they're proud of what they've done. And, to their credit, they should be, right? But they only talk about what they're currently doing. And so I wanted to kind of close the gap there with Take Action and help everyone at all stages and help them understand the different things that you can do to elevate your career. Like, what's that middle gap? What do you do between 4 homes and 200 homes, right? And so, now even when I host events, we oftentimes will bring up an agent that does maybe 20 homes a year.
Correct.
And talk to them, like, what are you doing and what's your goal next year, right? So that they can understand the process. And even with the top producers, many times if I interview a top producer, I don't talk to them about what they're currently doing. I ask them all about their humble beginnings because they didn't wake up one morning and do 200 deals. Right?
Excuse me. Yes, absolutely not.
and so that's what Take Action was really about. It was about, having things that you can actually implement into your business to find success.
Well, let me ask you, before we get into a couple of questions here in the book, something quickly. I did hear from Jennifer that you actually coming out or actually doing already, where there's a online course, which is a coaching, I would imagine.
It is.
That you actually are doing currently. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, and so that the public can actually hear what it is and how can that benefit them going forward. If
Sure.
they have any questions or concerns, or actually now, what happens is this, I don't mean to cut you off, is at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, people look at their paycheck, they look at what they made this year, and they feel like failure. Unfortunately, it's never them, it's always the company. But we understand as individuals who've been in this business for a long time, that it's a little bit of both. You need to have the right platform, you need to have the right support in order for you to succeed.
Agreed.
And what I'm understanding from Jennifer that you're actually coming out with is putting everything together for them so they can have all the tools imaginable to be able to reach our goals. So tell us a bit about that.
Sure. So the platform is called the Freedom Achiever Academy. The name of my coaching company is the Freedom Organization. That came together with the idea that all of us wake up every morning to work our butts off so we can find some sort of freedom.
Correct.
Right? Whether it be time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, whatever it is for whatever individual. And so we named the company that, and the Freedom Achievers are our clients. They're working on achieving freedom. So we created the Freedom Achiever Academy. It's an online, self-paced course. There's over 300 coaching and training videos in the platform.
Oh, wow.
Over 7 hours of content, consumable content. There's downloadable information. There's spreadsheets and PDFs and workbooks and everything you can imagine in there to help you in your business. And so we've divided it up into several different subjects, everything from marketing to social media to building a team to running as a solo agent to first steps in your career to running effective teams. Like the goal was to hit everyone at every level, and for it to be a platform you can use for the long run, not something that you watch a few videos, you pay too much money for.
Correct.
And you watch a few videos and it's supposed to help you make that next 6 figures, right?
Like, just pump you up and go out on the street.
Right.
And
This is designed to be that long-term, self-paced goal access.
so if someone's interested in finding out or hearing a little bit more about it, where do they need to go?
So you can go straight to the Freedom Achiever Academy, so freedomachieveracademy.com, or you can go to my website, davidadamkurz.com, and you can connect to everything we do there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, there you go. You have the information. If you think about making a change or you feel that you need a change beginning of the year, we're almost at the end of December, mid-December, year's almost over, and you need that encouragement. This is a great opportunity for you guys to learn.
So I'm gonna blow everybody away right now. How much do you think a platform like that should run for on a monthly basis?
If you're doing monthly, looking from some of the platform we run, probably anywhere from $400 to $500 a month.
Yeah, so we charge $9 a month. Right? And so the idea...
Sign me up. Louis, sign me up.
So we charge $9 a month, and what we found was, look, could I charge more? Absolutely. But our company's goal is to impact and change the lives of over 1 million people. And if we can't do that if we're overcharging.
Correct.
And I think the coaching industry has done a really good job at overcharging individuals and tapping into their mom's bank accounts just so they could learn something new, only to come out the other side with what they already had. And so we just wanted to build a platform that was $9 a month. Honestly, like now our new slogan is almost, it's cheaper to learn with us than it is to watch Netflix.
It's one Starbucks and a sandwich a month.
That's it. That's if you don't go venti.
That's true. That's true. So, tell us a little bit about this last book. This last book, which the title got me from the time that I saw it, and from what brief conversation we had and what Jennifer has spoken to us about. It's so true. The book it's amazing because what it's in that book is exactly what we actually experience and times actually feel.
I think, first of all, this book came from my heart. I think the last 2 books came from contribution. It came from a place where we wanted to help people. This one was a little bit different. This one was, I put a lot of pain into this book, personal pain. And the idea there was, how can I get people to avoid the things that I've been through, right? And it's hard to do. It's hard to tell somebody how painful it is. A lot of times people have to experience for themselves.
Correct.
But the smart people The smart people, they learn from other people's pain, and they go, I saw what that guy went through. I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
That
Let's
doesn't
avoid
attract
that.
me at all.
Let's avoid that as much as we can.
And so it took me over 3 years to put this book together. And it's not even that long of a book, guys. It's 140 something pages. It's designed to be a 90-minute read, you know? And, but it took me over 3 years to put it together because I think personally God was, every time I wanted to sit down and do the book, I think God was like, no, we're not ready yet. Right? Like you're still going through stuff and you still have lessons to learn and teach. And I went through a lot of tough times. 2020 was COVID. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I was hit with a lawsuit. At the same time of that lawsuit, I was hit with an injunction. I was completely out of the business in 2020. I lost everything. 2021, I had to begin to rebuild all of that stuff and put it back together. I think that's when
I first saw you up in stage.
Yeah, and it was probably the most difficult time of my life. And it affected everything. The reason it was the most difficult time of my life is because it affected my family, affected my household, affected my business. It wasn't just business pain. It was total pain, you know. And I put a lot of that into this book, and I put a lot of my upbringing and where I come from, and so that people can understand that, like, you know, sometimes you look at the outside picture and you go, that person's lucky or whatever, you know. But
well, you have a part in that book that I read. Let me see if I can go back to it. I think I have it marked in here, where you said you talk a little bit about, you know, people take for granted, or everyone thinks that sometimes you succeeded. It was because it was passed down to you,
yeah,
and not the effort put behind it.
Yeah,
and that's so far from the truth, because no matter how much family inheritance, whatever it is, can give you the money, the ability. It's unless you take it and run with it the right way, it doesn't really do anything.
Let's talk about the hot topic right now, Donald Trump. Right?
There we go.
He got a lot of flack because they said his father gave him $1 million, right, to start his business. And man, let me tell you, that's a hell of a blessing. But I promise you, for every one Trump out there, there are probably 100 people who got the same amount of money
and blew it,
right?
Exactly.
And so you know, and we'll sway from that subject, but for every successful inheritance, there are at least 100 or more unsuccessful inheritances. You know, there are people who took the money and said, I got $1 million, and blew it on drugs and airplanes and girls and you name
clubs
it.
And clothing.
Clubs and clothing and everything else. And then they're broke. It's just like the lottery, right? We talk about the lottery. How lucky are you to win the lottery? Like, the odds are out of this world.
In the millions.
Right? And so if you win the lottery, more people lose it all in the first 2 years than people who actually
continue their
lives.
Right, continue their life. Just living a little bit more comfortable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it goes to, and I'm sure we've all seen it on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere, we only see the tip of the iceberg. You know, and so, you know, there's something I wrote in there that said, you can't compare your inside, what's going on inside of you, to someone else's outside, because that's all you see. You don't know what they went through. You don't know what they're going through right now.
Exactly.
You know, you could see the guy come out of the Lamborghini with the Rolex or the AP or the nice clothes and the red bottom sneakers and the whole nine, and think to yourself, damn, what does he do? What is he this? What is he? He might have the most difficult life that you have no desire to be a part of.
Correct. Or the stress level in that guy.
Yeah. You know, or he might be living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of people do now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He might be like, listen, he might be wondering how he's going to get the money for his next Lambo payment, you know? And we don't know. We don't know that stuff. So we got to spend more time paying attention to ourselves. Stop worrying about other people.
Yeah, that used to be living. What did you say? Yeah, stop living with the Johnsons and just live with what your means and what you have. And that's what happens. We live in a world where, you know, we're always comparing, we're always asking, we're always thinking. I grew up in a very humble, you know, lifestyle where we really didn't have anything. But since we had nothing to compare to, we never complained.
Now we got social media.
Right. Now we have social media. Yeah. And I want that. If you don't believe me, you know, I came to this company when I came 6 years ago, and then I was lucky enough a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, I met Louis, which is one of our employees here. And before you know it, I was buying sneakers, which I never did before, buying all these brand name sneakers because Louis wore them.
Yeah.
Right. And
So I'm a piggyback on that story because, you know, the first time I ever got some brand name sneakers, they were Jordans. Now I don't know if you remember what it was
course I
like
did.
wearing Jordans back in our day.
of course,
right?
that was my
But-
first pair of sneaker. Was a pair of white Jordans with the Converse star on it. Okay, and I got those for. No, I apologize. I'm incorrect. Mine's were Julius Irving's.
Nice. All
That's
right.
my first one that I ever got.
So I
It
got a
was a
pair of
handout.
Jordans that, by the way, in the 80s was still $100 for the pair of sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, you know, sacrificed to get me the pair of sneakers, and I had those sneakers a week before they were stolen from me.
Oh wow.
You know, listen, I grew up in the Bronx in New York, and so there were two things that they would take from you: your Yankee ball cap and your
sneakers.
Jordans. You know, they would leave you barefoot with no hat walking home. You know, and my mom said to me, "Never again." And of course, I looked at that experience and I go, "Why? Why would I do that? Why would I subject myself to that again?" You know,
Correct.
and it wasn't a fair one-on-one. It was like 6 guys. You know, and so I never bought Jordans again for the longest time. Up until last year, my brother-in-law was like, "Look, dude, you're on stage all the time and Jordans are back. Like,
Yes, they are.
you got to check them out. Like, trust me, look at all your speakers that are on stage in other events. Like, they're all wearing Jordans." And I was like, "Well, I don't follow everybody like that." He goes, "Trust me, Dave." And of course, I said, "Fine, I'll buy a pair." Now I'm 6 pairs in. You know?
The thing is that, you know, I look at this guy, Lewis, that works with us, and this guy wears a different pair every day, but they look like he just brought them out of the box. If he takes care of his household the way he does his sneakers, this guy's got to have the flawless home. Everything's perfect. There's not a dust on the floor. There's nothing, because his sneakers look like they just came out of the box. And I struggle trying to clean them before putting them on. I say, "Oh God, I got this," because I walk the dog in the grass. I do this, and no, these can't go that way. So, but let me ask you. So, what's in play for 2025? We're almost there. I know that speaking to Jennifer, you guys have a lot, because you guys have the real estate company back and running again. Congratulations, your guys are actually back in the building, back in the office.
Yes,
which is
yes.
great. It's got to be exciting to be able to have a purpose in the morning, get dressed, and come down to
It's
the
exciting.
office.
You know, I kept purpose when I was in my home office. Like, I woke up in the morning, took a shower, ate breakfast, got really dressed up. Like, I did everything. But it's different. It's different being back in the office. I haven't been in the office in 4 years. I've been, you know, associated with the cloud brokerage all this time. So there was no need, you know. But now we're rebuilding the team, and you know, we've always had the team, but we really took it down a big notch. We were 15 agents, we took it down to 4 agents. Now we're looking forward to going back up to 15, 20 agents.
So you're rebuilding again.
We're rebuilding again. Okay. So we've got, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the plate for us. January 2nd of this year, I became president of New World Title Texas.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
I'm charged with building Texas for the title company.
I know you guys have done amazing in Jersey.
I mean, they've killed it in Jersey.
Yeah,
I have I can't take any credit for that. They've done an amazing job in Jersey. My entire focus is Texas, and we are, since January 2nd, we've been building in San Antonio, and we are already a top 10 title company in the city of San Antonio.
Excellent. Congratulations.
It's incredible. Thank you. And so we have that. We have the Kurz team at LPT Realty, and so we're building that as well. And then with the coaching company, we've decided to focus on more automated coaching, like our academy and things of that nature. So I'll be consistently building courses. I think by the end of the year, we'll probably have 450 videos in the platform.
Wow.
And what my goal is to do is just make it the largest video collection platform for education, so that at $9 a month, you can keep it as long as you need to, right? Because if this was $400 or $500 a month, you'd last 3-4 months. Most people are in and out, and
Absolutely.
you're gone, right? $9 a month, man. How long have you had your Netflix account? Like, come on.
I mean, people pay for a gym subscription
that they don't go to.
They don't go to.
Yeah,
and it's not $9 on it.
Right. And so we're going to continue to build the academy as a part of that. We're going to continue to do some group stuff, but more importantly, we're going on tour in 2025. And
I heard about that. I heard you have over 100 tours that you're looking, or 60. I don't remember.
We're gonna do 22 cities.
Oh my God, 22 cities.
We're gonna do 22 cities. We expect anywhere between 75 to 120 people in attendance at each city. We're doing California, Texas, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Florida, and there's Maryland. there might be something else in there. But
so let me ask you, if someone is maybe interested, that see us here talking and interested in learning a little bit more about what you're doing and who you are and your motivation and all that, where can they go to actually see where you're going to be at the tours? When are you guys going to have that available?
just directly on my website, davidadamkurz.com.
Okay.
There's two websites that'll link you to everything. davidadamkurz.com is my main website. It'll kind of put you in the right position. Then there's everythingdavidkurz.com. So if you want to, that's more of, it's like a, what you call it, Linktree.
Linktree, yeah.
So if you go to everythingdavidkurz.com, we consistently update that. So the academy's there. You know, if you want to schedule an appointment with me for coaching or training, if you want to learn more about the title company, if you want to learn more about our real estate team, there are links there that will connect you to us and provide a ton of information.
You know, people will probably be asking, you know, why is it that I'm actually sitting here with you and doing this? And it's because I know that Jennifer has become part PRMG family too.
She has.
And we're honored to have her. We're honored to have you guys here in the same building. That was a pleasant surprise for us to be in the third floor, because there's so many things that we can get out of it. And our own loan officers and sales guys here in they're actually saying, hey, once you do the video, let me know, send it, I want to see it, because I'm definitely interested in learning a little bit more. I'm definitely interested in increasing my pipeline and see what I'm doing that I'm not having success. What else can I do to make it more successful for me in 2025? Everyone's looking, you know, a lot of things have happened in the last couple of months since November. Yeah. And people are actually, they're generating, they're how can I say, they're actually hyped about what 2025 is going to bring. I think we're going to have some changes, not major changes, but I think there's going to be a lot of more opportunities out there for individuals who really want to grind it and make the money and actually increase a pipeline. And I think this is the time. Here's a great opportunity for you guys to learn about it. Great opportunity to start at $9 and change a month. Come on, you guys can't beat that. I look like a fool when I said $400 to $500,
but you're not, because that's what the rates are. That's what it costs. You know, that's what it costs. Like some of these platforms out there, they're $7,000, $8,000 a year. Mm-hmm. You know, and real estate agents are struggling to find the money to pay for it, because every time they open Instagram, they see information about it. They just feel like, man, this system could take me to the next level. And I'm telling you, the Freedom Achiever Academy will take you to the next level if and only if you commit to absorbing the information and then you actually put it into action.
Correct.
Right? Because if you're a professional learner, then there's nothing for you. You're just going to learn a lot and you'll be able to eloquently talk about it all the time.
Correct.
But if you don't put it to action, then you're not going to see results. And that's a big part of the failure book. You know, it's really understanding that look, I wrote that book because I wanted people to adapt the idea that there's no such thing as failure. What do I mean by that? I mean, we've been told for probably over a decade now that we're supposed to fail forward. And if you look at the culture that's currently in adaptation, the people that are now working the industry, mm-hmm. in comparison to the people that were working the industry 15, 20 years ago, right? There's a huge difference between the two.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, this generation is much more entrepreneurial, where the previous generation was much more 9 to 5, get to work, do the job, right? But what's wrong with this entrepreneurial generation is that they believe that they're supposed to fail in order to move forward. And so you've got people like Tony Robbins out there going, fail forward, right? And what he's really telling you is learn from your mistakes. Problem is that words are very powerful, right? So if I tell the universe that I want money, then I might get a check from FPL for 2 cents because I overpaid, right? Correct. And so I'm going to look at this check from 2 cents and I'm going to laugh. But the universe said, why are you laughing? You asked for money.
Exactly.
Right? I gave you money.
Makes all the sense in the world.
If you're not specific. So here's what's happening. When we get into those specifics and we go to the world and we say, we're supposed to fail forward. Well, God and the universe and whomever says, no problem. What business are you in? Cool. Let's set that up to fail because you keep asking to fail. When we should be asking to succeed for.
To succeed, correct.
Right? We should be asking for the wins. we should understand that the things that happen to us aren't necessarily failures, but hiccups in the moment, right? And I've been challenged with this. People come to me and go, David, I lost the whole restaurant. I had a restaurant, I lost the whole restaurant, it was a big failure, and I became a real estate agent. And I go, one question. Did you, by any chance, take any lessons from what you learned in the opportunity of ownership of a restaurant and adapt them to your successful business today? The answer is always yes, right? Because you learn and then you adapt.
Correct.
And so I go, so how is that a failure? Is the restaurant open anymore? No. But is it a hiccup at a moment in life? Now, do you have the opportunity to adapt that into your current business and make it a massive success? Yes, I do. So how is it a failure? And people always get stuck because it's not. It's a moment in life. I've lost my business and lost everything twice now. And I've gained it all back. I don't look at either one of them as failures. I look at them as life lessons. They're life and business lessons.
An opportunity not to do it again.
Yeah, they're hiccups in life, you know? And in the book, I even try to reframe everybody's head to go into the hiccup mode instead of the failure mode. Stop calling them failures because they're not. The only way it's a failure is if you fail, you go into a corner, you quit, and you die. You just give up.
Correct.
You give up on life and you give up, then that's a failure.
So let me ask you a question before we say bye to everyone here. Where can I get the book? If somebody else wants to go there.
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. You can find it paperback. It's on Kindle as well, so you can listen to it. I mean, just any which way you want to look at it. There's also a website called truthaboutfailure.com. It'll link you to the Amazon site, but more importantly, there's an entire training that you can purchase behind the book on there.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yep.
Well, David, I don't know what else to say, man. It was a great pleasure having you here. We were looking forward to talking to you a little bit. Guys out there, we're trying to bring something different every week. I think this is one of our best shows that we have so far. We have a professional in the business where, again, he's going to be on tour, 22 cities coming up real soon. Go into the website, look it up, see if you guys want to sign up. It'll be great. And then most of all, help yourself. For $9 and change a month, you can help yourself tremendously. If any of the classes and any of the training is as good as the book is, trust me, you guys will definitely succeed for 2025. And we thank you, man, for coming.
Thank you, brother.
Great to have you. We look forward to having you again.
Thank you so much. You guys, remember, take action in the things that you learn. Put it into effect in 2025. You will never have a better year.